Craig, it's cold. I don't know what to do about it. And for you, I understand that it's dipped below 80 degrees. How are you holding up?
Long sleeve shirt, long pants, and socks today. It's a frigid 63 degrees, and with the wind chill, it's probably 62.
Oh, my goodness. That is not good. What is good, though, is – wait, I'm confused. I'm totally forgetting what time it is.
Time for Boba Fett?
No, although there will be time for Boba Fett this weekend.
It's time for an audit.
Yes. Welcome to the Friday Night Audit. Of course, I am Wise. It's so cold, Glenn. And that over there is Aloha Craig. And you've turned into the only show guaranteed to make you say at the end, well, that's 1 hour of my life I'll never get back.
Unless we go long, then it'll be longer.
Craig Sullivan, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. It is a beautiful 15 degrees. Oh, you wanted this, Bruce Ford, who will be seen next week in Los Angeles.
Yes,
it's warm. Oh, my God. Andrew, it is so great to see you. I've been thinking about you guys. I'm like, I miss my home up at the Malcolm. We had such a great time doing that Friday Night Audit from that hotel up in Canmore, Canada. Good to see you, Carol. But today is exciting, Craig, because we're going to have some fun guests on the show today. But first, I got to say, I really admire your.
Sorry, Daniel, I'm here. I'm crashing home. Over.
So I got to tell you, I love your choice of t-shirts. I'm like, this is a move that's really incredible to me. 6 months ago, you're like, who? What? What's what talking about? And now you're sporting a t-shirt over there.
Hey, got them on the stereo, got it all going on.
Yeah.
The only thing that's missing is a steak, a lobster, and Glenn Houseman at the house.
You know what else is missing? Not Dave. Not missing Dave.
I like surf and turf too. Thank you very much.
Well, come on down, Dave.
All right. Well, Craig, listen. This is all great, and I love talking to you, but we've got great guests. Who are they today?
Well, we've got industry icons.
Really?
Yes.
Why would industry icons come on this show?
Because they like us still?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, still. They may not after today. It's hard to say. But, they put on, and this also a first, we've got a couple. They put on with a tremendous team, my favorite event in Arizona, the Lodging Conference. So we've got Harry Javers and Liz Wolff joining the program today. Hi, guys. How are you?
All right. It's so great to see you guys. Welcome. And I believe you're coming at us straight from the JW Marriott Desert Ridge, where we get to go every September and bathe in the love that's known as the Lodging Conference. How you guys?
We're great. We apologize. We tried to do it outside. That was one of the reasons we pushed it to today, but technical difficulties. So we're in our room.
Yeah,
and they weren't us.
Right. And listen, you don't have to apologize, Liz, because the audience never would have known what's been happening for the last half hour. Mostly me pre-gaming, but
Right. Us too. Double fisted.
Nice. Cheers.
All right, hold on.
Yeah. So, again, Glenn, you're gonna remember, but hold on, because I'm home again. So my name is Frozen Day Dave today, but it's also Day Off Dave, the sequel, which means I get to be here with my family. So I'm going to invite my wife and beautiful daughter over to partake in our cheers. So Kylie, Annie, come here now. Because I only told them to be ready 10 minutes ago, but now they're not ready.
That's true. They signed all the paperwork. They've really been at it all day long.
And here they are, stuck. So we're waiting. And here's the dead air we talked about. So come on this side. They're going to come in. So this is
Hi,
my daughter,
guys.
Kylie, and my beautiful wife, Annie, who you guys have met before. My son, Fox, is at school.
Hi.
So Glenn, take it away.
Is it back to us? All right. Well, we're going to have a little bit of a cocktail, which I did not forget to do this. Absolutely perfect now because we've got cocktail time. And Harry, Liz, it was up to you to choose what kind of drinks you'd like to have today. And I know one of them is Espresso Martini, something I feel that nobody needs to give me right about now. Tell us a little bit about your drinks.
Yeah, this is an Espresso Martini. It's the drink you definitely never ever give Glenn Houseman.
Except in Las Vegas at around 6:15 in the evening. That's the only variance I'm allowed.
I thought you would say 6:15 in the morning when you're just getting.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
And you have
Or
to
just before you go on stage.
Right. Only before I get on stage at the lodging conference.
The one time I was in Vegas, 6:15 was my bedtime, not when I woke up.
Right.
All right, so cheers, everybody. My daughter's over here sneezing, but cheers. Enjoy the caffeine. Now, my daughter, of course, is having a virgin Coca-Cola.
Yes.
But everybody else, enjoy.
Bye. Have fun.
So, guys, how's the JW in Arizona? How's it going?
It's awesome. We came to do a lot of work, and we pretty much have the menu set in stone, and we have entertainment set in stone, more or less. All good. And now it's cocktail time. And
Nice.
it's all good in the hood.
So, Harry and Liz, what kind of tequila are you using in your espresso martini?
Well, I actually have to tell you that I'm drinking a prickly pear margarita. What we wanted to do was to showcase some of the JW's signature drinks, which is why I picked the prickly pear margarita, right? But we'll get to the
That's the
story.
prickly pear.
I love that you've been holding on to that solo cup for longer than Dave's kids have been alive.
And Harry picked his espresso martini because that's also another signature drink of the JW.
Well, not only did I, by the way, aside from my beautiful drink over here, you have the espresso martinis, the beers, but I also have hot dogs.
Oh, God.
I made special hot dogs with melted American cheese.
Nice.
So you're going to see me eating on this show because guess what, guys?
You're disgusting.
Well, that too. That's absolutely. You got to see all of this. Yes, that's the case. But I'm hungry. So bon appetit.
Great.
I had lunch at 12:30 my time, so I wouldn't be hungry.
Actually, I understand that a hot dog with American cheese on it is the official hot dog of the JW Marriott Desert Ridge as well. So we're really keeping it in line over here. But Harry, Liz, it's so exciting. We've gotten to go to a couple of the lodging conferences now over at JW Marriott Desert Ridge. It's so much fun that the event's gotten to a point where you needed to move to a different location after decades at the fabled Arizona Biltmore. I love the vibe that's over there. Must be nice for you guys to be able to go there now without the pressure of having to put on a big event like tomorrow, right?
No, I mean, it really sucks being here. It's 75. It's sunny. We just had a 2-hour food tasting. We're doing cocktails with you. Life is rough, man. I gotta tell you.
Well, he said it's 75 degrees now.
Time. Yeah.
So let me just show you guys what's going on over here. Now, I'm not going to use my town. I'm going to give you guys a real major city within New Jersey. Of course, that being Newark, New Jersey. And let me show you guys what the temperature is over here.
Yeah.
And let me tell you guys, while it says 20, it feels nothing like that because I know 20. It feels about 5 right now. It is bad out there. You walk outside, it is frigid.
It is not pleasant at all out there. But Harry and Liz, I know you're jealous. I don't need to worry about refrigeration. No, I just put these on my windowsill and I've got a nice cold beer I can enjoy. So we got something over you guys over there in Arizona, at least, or I'm going to keep telling myself that so I can sleep.
My wife's beer outside, that wasn't in the fridge.
Glenn does that as well.
A nice cool Mick right from the deck.
Yeah.
And we don't like your racial slurs here, Dave.
Listen
Nick
here, you guys said
thank you very much.
you guys said you set the menu in stone. How about a little preview of what we can expect besides your world famous road food show?
Nah, I don't like to kiss and tell.
I don't want to know. You know, screw that. What I want to know is, Liz,
So
you got to
lobster
tell
on
me
Monday
what
night is still on the menu.
Liz, what is it tasting like for all those people that don't know? Like, I've been lucky enough to, if I go to a restaurant or something like that, they'll give me course after course. But when you're doing a catering event, how does all of that work? How many different things do you try? How, you know, do you have some drinks along with it? What happens?
So we try to keep a lot of the favorites on the menu every year.
Right.
And add some new things. And depending on what the theme is, try to incorporate that into that evening's theme. And so when we do these tastings, the point is to taste things that we have not ever had at the hotel. So we might have, like today we had, I don't know, about 8 different dishes.
Yum.
And 5 different desserts.
Do you act as if like you're one of the judges on the show Chopped, for example? Sorry, chef, but this dish will not be served at the lodging conference.
Craig,
funny you should ask.
Craig may remember this. Craig, do you remember in the 70s the Alexa Gente coffee commercials?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's what it's like. So basically, this, you know, everybody's quiet, waiting for, you know, what do they think? You know, and you taste
What's she going to say next?
Right.
So it's almost as if somebody said E.F. Hutton, and then everybody had to listen to go with 70s commercials references.
Right.
Now, do you work in the Robert Downey Jr. eye roll during all of this?
Somebody fill me in on what we're talking about, because
no, Dave, you're too young
to get it.
Yeah.
It's not only is it over my head, but I was negative 20 years old. So
okay, how about Mikey?
Now you're
Mikey,
just a negative.
What cereal did Mikey eat? What was that?
Mikey.
He doesn't know.
Also,
no, I do. But Mikey, I like it.
He really likes it.
Right.
Oh.
It's a little like that.
Ding, ding, ding. I'm glad you got that.
Yeah, but what is the cereal, though? I can't.
So are we.
I told you, it's also a board game.
Yeah.
Crunch?
What kind of board game was Crunch?
Right, hold on. That's what I have Google for.
The one your cats are playing with, Glenn.
Crunch.
Life cereal.
Hey, look at you.
There you go.
But that's why we have
What's this stuff?
the wonders
cereal.
of.
It's supposed to be good for you. I'm not going to try it.
Oh, there you go.
Careful, Dave.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Dave, I'm taking that off. I don't want you to screw us over here.
I know,
Hey, we get that, lunch money twice a year. So yeah, please don't do that.
YouTube, Harry, Liz, YouTube is really weird about certain things. If you do stuff, they'll totally just put you in the penalty box over there. And people like that talk about that issue that all of us are dealing with that starts with the letter C, then they will like demonetize your video and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy. So Harry, Liz, do you eat all of the food or just have little tastes of it? And how do you know what rises to the top? And did you pick some top dishes today?
I hope we picked the top dishes. I asked what was the new that we wanted to taste, because what's the point of, I don't need to taste the food that works well. I wanted to taste the things that were new to make sure that we would make all of you guys happy. It's not really what we like. It's what we hope that everybody else likes.
Right. It's gonna be my next question, because it can't just be about your taste profile. No. You gotta figure out what everybody's gonna want to have.
Right. So it's totally and really it's a group thing. It's myself, Liz. It's another person on our team. And then we have the chef there, the head chef. We have folks from the hotel. And so it's kind of, if 6 people like something and one person doesn't, we'll generally go with what the 6 people like. And to answer your previous question, we'll take a little bit of each. You kind of like anything else have to pace yourself, a little bit of each. And then if you're not full, you'll probably go back and take more of what you liked.
Yeah, absolutely. So what were the top dishes at last year's lodging conference?
Oh,
the lobster.
The lobster. The lobster went over really well.
The steak Florentine, but that's not what it was called. I forget what it was called. It was the tips.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
You guys always have great food, though. I appreciate it. You're upping the game every year
The
on
seafood, right? I think that's a big hit where you have the crab and the oysters, and you have the crab legs, and you have the snow crab.
The sushi station's always popular.
Right.
The pastry chef here, she's unbelievable.
Amazing.
Everything she gives us.
Oh my God. I went to one of the ancillary parties, and Craig, what was that awesome dessert that we had?
Oh,
They were dipping something in something.
Yeah.
They were freezing something with liquid nitrogen. Right?
Yeah.
That's what it was. That was pretty cool.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was a good one.
There will be some
I have a
going to
question.
spare, just in a different format, but there will be some liquid nitrogen for all.
There you go.
How about helium? That way we can all talk funny.
I didn't hear you, sorry.
How about helium? That way we can all talk funny.
I think we all talk funny already.
Yeah,
That's true, Ari.
Craig.
But I have a question because, of the 4 screens here, 2 of them have created or founded in some degree their own conference, which are conferences that are very well attended.
Oh my God. We should pit Craig and Harry and Liz to the death to see which conference reigns supreme.
Theirs is the best.
Well, there you go. It's over. It's over.
Harry and Liz are responsible for me launching Click.
No way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so Craig, tell us that story. Go ahead.
Okay. Well,
Hey, Mert, great to see you.
6 years ago now, at the lodging conference at the old location, they had some speakers in the day 1 general session and subsequent day general sessions that were bagging on California. And I've told Harry this story. And I walked away from the conference pissed off. I got back to California. I called a meeting with about 8 to 10 executives in the California hospitality market, different disciplines. And it was nothing that Harry, Liz, or their teams did. It was the speakers, just, the jokes about California and everything else. And I just said,
what was it
the
about?
time we had the 6th largest global economy. It's like, wait a minute, we're important. So got everybody into a room, didn't tell anybody what the subject was, didn't tell anybody who was coming to the meeting, sent out individual invitations to each person because I didn't want any egos or anything else getting triggered. I wanted them all in one location. So I used the conference room at Broughton Hotels, which I ended up later being the CDO at, and said, what about this? One day, great information, price it right for the sponsors, the exhibitors, the attendees, and we're going to give back to various trade organizations to their scholarship programs. And everybody at the room said, we're in. And I said, okay, one thing. I got to go see Jim Butler first. I got to kiss the ring and make sure that he's okay with this. And Jim just looked at me and said, do you want to exchange checks or do you want to do a handshake? And I said, handshakes always worked with me and you, Jim. So let's do that. And we shook hands. 6 months later, we had our first conference.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And we sold out. So
yeah, that's a wild
so
story.
Harry and Liz are directly responsible for my success. And I've used them in the past to talk to them about how they've dealt with companies and other vendors and things of that nature and trials and tribulations that they've gone through and mastered. And it's true. You guys have got my favorite conference. I've always gone, I've been to over 20 of them at this point. I mean, I came into it a little late. I think it was the 2nd year at the Biltmore Forward. And even if I was to retire, which will never happen, I would still come to your conference. It's like,
I love that he says that'll never happen. The guy works 3 hours a day. He'd semi-retired already.
Well, yeah.
But I have a question. But I have a question because
coming from the guy who works 4 hours a day.
Me? Right.
Well, here's a question coming from the guy who works 16 hours a day.
Yeah, you should work harder, dude. Maybe
I'm a slacker. It's fine.
You should get a raise.
I'm a complete slacker. But listen, when you think of these big conferences, right? The lodging conference, the California Lodging Conference, all these other conferences, you think that they're kind of established by these big conglomerates or these well-established, huge organizations, but they're really, at least these two conferences are established by a couple guys or girls who are just like you and me. So Harry, Liz, I'm going to throw it to you first. Craig, I'm going to come to you second. How do you, as an individual, start a conference that is so well known, so well attended, and don't have necessarily that major marquee name behind it?
Well, it's like everything else, not just our industry. If you look at all our industry conferences, but every conference, most businesses, they start out small. Apple computers started out in a garage, Intel, same thing. The original computer show was small. The original AHOA show, which is now, 10,000 people in good times, started out with a few dozen people. So they all start small. Somebody has an idea, and it's kind of like that old saying, if you build it, they will come. So you build it, and you hope that people come. And if they do, you have something, and then you try to make it bigger. And if it doesn't work the first time, you try and tweak it. And, sometimes it takes years to get some traction. But we were, pretty successful right out of the box.
Craig, what about you, Craig? So now, Craig, you just told us your story about how Click started, but
how's it going to end, Craig? How's it going to end?
How did it make it?
We'll find out.
How did you make it successful, right? Because listen, having an idea and planning something and even putting it out there does not guarantee success. So how do you make it successful?
Well, it's right there. You got to be creative. We started out with a shoestring budget. I leveraged my reputation, my friendships, my business relationships, and I'm sure Harry and Liz did the same thing. But you've got to be really creative about it. And when, we decided to go and we were going to do this, first person I called and the only person I ever wanted to moderate my opening panel was Glenn Hausman.
I thought you were going to say Bruce Ford, but he wasn't available.
No. Bruce is the keynote. You're the and we had Alan Ray as the keynote initially. So, but it was always about Glenn having a panel that is hotel investment and. So like this year, it's hotel investment and opportunity now. Next year, it'll be something different. But once I got the moderators in place, it was really about hitting the brands. And our first year we had 4. This year we have 10. So, in 5 years.
And next year you're going to have 4 again because they're all consolidating.
Well, yeah. And I do want to thank Sonesta. They signed the contracts today and they're on board. So thank you very much.
That's awesome. So, Harry, Liz, let me ask you this question then about putting on events. You start from a humble place. You don't know how many people are going to show, if it's going to work. In what year did you say, okay, we've done it. This is going to be a regular event. I could take a little bit of a deep breath.
Never.
It's partially, Liz said the first year, Craig said never. And the answer is, it's really in between, because after the first year, you think, okay, this could be an annual event and everything's good. But it's not like it's an annuity. You have to work at it every year.
Yeah. Right.
And to Dave's point, you can come up with an idea for anything, a conference or anything. It's really all about the execution. And with a conference, it's about keeping it fresh, coming up with new ideas, new speakers, some conferences move every year venues.
Right. But keeping it fresh is different than having the psychological trauma with not knowing whether or not it's going to work again next year. For as long as I can remember, you were already established, and it was never a question, would they come back the next year? Did you ever feel like you made it to that place? Or are you still, no matter how long it is, like,
No, obviously at this point, after 27
Right.
years, we feel it's well established. We're going to have an event next year, no problem. Of course, then something comes along that's unexpected, like
9/11.
or
C-word.
COVID.
You're not supposed to say that word.
I'm not supposed to say that.
Sorry, that's it. The show's over. No, I'm just kidding. It's funny that Harry and I talked earlier this week, and he's like, "Hey, what's the language? HBO or network TV?" And I'm like, "HBO," except for that one word. I should have.
You should have been very clear, Glenn, but apparently you did not do your production.
They all
What's the penalty?
We're out of here.
Here's the
Glenn,
penalty. The penalty is this:
directions.
we take Glenn out. That's the penalty.
Yeah, but he can bring himself back in.
And he's messing up production. But listen, Harry, Liz, I want to ask you guys, and Craig, I'll ask you the same question. We talked about this on No Vacancy once, because No Vacancy Live is, one of the best podcasts in the world. And I don't say that being biased. I say it by the numbers. I say it by the podcast being one of the top 0.05% of podcasts in the world, right?
Can I just interrupt for one
Hit the
quick
applause
second?
button.
I just have to tell you, sorry. It saved me during the C word. I
Me
watched
too.
it religiously at 12 o'clock our time every day. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Well, it
Still
saved
is
me.
awesome.
It saved me too because I got to work. I got to work on it.
Also,
So.
what with life getting back to normal, I don't always get to watch it at 12. Sometimes I have to watch it a little later on in the day. That's all. But totally saved me.
Well, the best part about No
It did
Vacancy
for all
Live
of
is
us, I
that
think.
it's just as good at 12 as it is at 2 or 3 or the next day. So you can always watch it. You can always catch on it. But
I feel like
Sometimes it's
I
even
feel like
better
I'm
later in the night.
Palooza logo. Was that correct?
I
Sorry.
said sometimes it's even better later at night.
Oh yeah, especially if you've been drinking.
yeah. But the point I wanted to go to was I've said this on the show, about our show, because there's a lot of podcasts out there, and now over the last 2 years, there's been a lot of hospitality podcasts, and I really believe that ours stands above and beyond. And my saying is, the gap between good and great is not that wide. It's really not. But the work it takes to get from good to great is huge.
Yeah.
And it's a massive amount of work to get from average/good to great. And the Lodging Conference and Click are two great conferences. So what have you guys, I'll start again, Harry and Liz, what have you guys done? What have you noticed that has made your conference stand out to be one that everyone wants to go to versus just being some hum-of-the-mill conference?
I think number one, we do sweat every detail. Every detail matters. And that one detail, it may not matter to 2,000 people, but it may matter to 20 people.
Right.
So if you take 50 details and you multiply it by 20 people, you've just made 1,000 people really happy. The golf outing may only matter to 150 people, but to them it's very important.
Big deal.
Last year, we added pickleball, and the 40 or 50 people that did pickleball loved it. The year before, we added a hike. The 100 people that went hiking loved it. So you keep trying to find little things. We had a beer pong contest a few years ago, which was over the top popular.
I did participate in that, by the way.
Did you win?
No, my hubris got the best of me, so I wound up losing.
And I think the NAU students won, but of course they should win.
They should.
Right.
Yeah.
That game was invented after I was out of college, also probably before Dave was born, but after I was out of.
Yes, that's true. But to Harry's point, Anthony talks about this all the time, right? What made Anthony great at his job, and forget the show, what made him good as a GM was the minor details, right? He always focused on the minor details. So Craig, same question. what have you done to make Click a destination conference versus just something that's going to be here for 2 years and gone?
You know, it's all about the details. It's all about keeping it fresh, current, trying to predict trends. You know, what's happening. I talk to everybody all the time, and it's, you know, I've got my thumbprint on everything. So, you know, if it's sparked a little bit of an imagination with me, I think that's a pretty good first start. Our first conference, okay, because we only had 4 brands. We had a brand spotlight in between each one of the panels. Okay, that made sense for that one. Then year 2, we had 6 brands and we had 7, and then we started doing a brand panel. And Harry's conference is really geared to have the C-suite people out, Harry and Liz. Okay, mine's not. Mine's about boots on the ground. So I want the franchise development men and women that are working California on that brand panel. The lenders, okay, we bring you half a dozen lenders that are making hotel loans. They're not just in and out of the market, okay? Every lender that is on our lending panel, you know, in March of this year, these are the loan officers. These are, again, boots on the ground. These are the people that the owners want to see. These are the people, you know, at the various trade organizations that they want to see as well. So it's always about, you know, coming out of the C-suite with us and really about practical application. And as long as I can do, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'd love to have a CEO panel, but my conference isn't it. Harry's and Liz's is, okay? Plus, you get all their development teams in the trade show floor and everything else. Mine's a one-day event. Either you drive, fly, or walk to, and you know the next day you're back in your office. So you know, sharing the information that you've gotten, and I think more times than not, right, the information we've passed on is been outstanding. I mean, you know, Glenn's going to be our closer this year instead of our opener. Okay.
Oh, promotion. Promotion.
Coffee.
Yeah. So we're going to get him a little coffee with alcohol in it so that he's pumped
Espresso
up.
Martini, maybe.
Yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
But
And you know, we're JW Marriott, so I think they could probably call their sister property and get it. Yeah. But you know, we're going to get, you know, everybody amped up because once that panel's over, we're going right into our after party, and Glenn and I and David are doing a live Friday night audit from Click 5.
That's right.
It's the crown jewel of the Anaheim Resort, the JW Marriott. So,
I cannot wait. But listen, guys, because again, you both said the same word, right? Mike or Harry, Liz, Craig, you said the same word, details. Yeah. So, Glenn, I'm going to throw it to you because you don't have a conference. You don't have the Glenn Houseman Hotel, Resort, Spa, Sushi, Pool House, Dispensary podcast.
Houseman Resort, Club, and Smokehouse and Dispensary.
All right. Well, you don't have that conference yet. But again, you have a podcast. You have a live show. That isn't the 0.5% of podcasts in the world, which is a big deal, right? Yeah. So even though you guys are in 2 different spaces, conferences, podcasts, right, you have the same results. So what have you done over the last 10 years to make No Vacancy as a brand stand out and be that special name recognition in the industry?
All right. And first, I want to say to Colleen, yes, something did go wrong. We went live as usual. And secondly, I think what I did do is
get that point out.
I picked up on that. A little slow burn on that one. So, all right. So I think what I did over time is just the tenacity of it, right, guys? Because it's just about sticking to it and continuing to move forward, no matter what other people say. And I'm sure, Craig, you were told, and I don't know if you were told that, Harry, when you and Morris were putting this together, that there's already enough conferences, you shouldn't do it.
Oh yeah.
I've always been told you can't,
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah.
But the fact is, you can if you have that focus on the details. Harry, Liz?
Oh, no, it's not a word in my vocabulary.
Yep.
Never was, never will be. You?
Yeah, no, 100%. Everybody tells you there's too many conferences, there's too many, coffee stores on this block, and you just, if you believe it, then you do it, and
People will come.
Right. But the truth is, there are too many conferences, but there are too many shitty conferences that are out there. There's very few that are able to breathe that rarefied air. That's one of the reasons why I love going to the lodging conference every single year. I've been saying for decades now, it's like my favorite event of the year in the financial conference area, because it's so laid back, it's chill. And I have a feeling that, Harry, when you were creating this, that was kind of the thing you were going for, because everyone was doing it this way. Let's approach it from this way, right?
Yeah, totally. The niche that I saw was, beautiful resort, very upscale, laid back, and that's something we've just stayed with. It seems to work. It seems to be what people want. The world has become less formal.
Yep.
And, we're all in the hotel business, so we want, an upscale experience when we can have it. And so that's what we're going to stick with.
I think the thing I'm proudest most in my entire career is not wearing ties since before the year 2000. And now everybody at these stiffy financial conferences are ditching the ties. So that is what I hope to be remembered for.
We will always remember you for that, Glenn. Now, the other thing is, Liz and Harry are also responsible for us, because we met at the lodging conference. We were talking. We had this really great conversation about the Arizona Biltmore, and it was pros and cons, the whole conversation. And little did Glenn or I realize that a 20-year plus brotherhood was being born at the Arizona Biltmore with that initial conversation.
Yeah, that's true, because we got in like the day early or something like that.
Right.
Pool area, I think.
Yeah.
I know we were with Bruce and
having
I think
a cigarette around the corner. Yeah. But Harry and Liz's conference is bar none the best. It's when I worked for a publicly held company, that was the end of conference season for one thing. But I got all of my raw data, all of my information to put my business plan together for the next year. Then the initial few years of Alice, I would use that to tweak my business plan. But everything that I did in the direction that I went and my team was going, whether it was acquisitions or non-judicial foreclosures, any number of things, all my hardcore data always came from the lodging conference and the absolutely amazing speakers and panels and breakout sessions that these guys put on.
So
now with Click, we don't have breakout sessions. Everything's a general session. It's 4 panels. Boom, in, out. Great information.
Right.
And we're just focused on the California hotel market.
Right.
I did not want to do a multi-day conference. I still do not want to do a multi-day conference. It's just about one day about California. Now, I would love to add Hawaii in there, but the consolidation there probably doesn't warrant a conference. So
you found a great niche, Craig. Absolutely.
So let me ask you guys both again. Let me ask you a question for. I want to ask a question for the different conferences again. Because listen, the people that go to these conferences, the lodging conference, Hunter, Alice, NYU, California Lodging, to different degrees, they're typically kind of these people that in the industry that are upper level, right? They're involved in development. They're involved in some of these bigger decisions. For someone like myself who has been to one conference one time with Glenn, why are these conferences important to someone like myself who does not have any involvement in these decisions? Like, why do I want to be there, and how do I get involved in them?
Ooh, good question. The issue is, Harry and Liz, that Dave, is basically running a hotel right now in Manhattan. So he's still at the property level. He hasn't made it to that corporate level yet, which is truly what you folks are focused on. Is there a bridge for somebody who's like looking to get up to that level?
And
right?
I don't say as much for myself, because thankfully through hard work and connections, I can get there. But for someone who doesn't have those connections, how do they get there?
I heard you got a 10% discount on tickets to Click.
I heard the same thing. I'm moving up in the world.
We'll give you the same discount.
There you go.
Yeah, let's go 11%.
Yeah.
No, but seriously.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh,
Folks, on Friday night.
That's for anybody.
my
Hey.
Click budget just went to the lodging conference budget.
Harry and Liz got more money, so they win. Okay.
All right.
I'll tell you what, Craig, why don't we just offer him a 2-for-1? How's that?
I you know what? That's a great idea.
Right.
Absolutely.
I love it. But seriously, how can someone like myself, who doesn't have the connections of Craig and Glenn and Anthony and now Harry and Liz, how can some random person who's in the industry, who likes the industry, who wants to move up in the industry, how can they get involved in these type of events?
Do you mean get involved at 10 or get involved at a higher level?
Register today.
But seriously, would it be advantageous for someone like myself, who's an on-property leader who has no development history, to be at these conferences to learn and make connections? Like, does it really matter if I go?
Yes.
Well, yes. Honestly, it's like playing the lotto. You have to play to win. So
Right.
you should go to as many conferences as you can, because you never know who you're going to meet. And it just takes one person that you get a lead from, a job from, and then that's paid for the conference and maybe for your whole year and then some.
Yeah, and to add to that, I mean, you won't find many people like yourself at a lot of these conferences who run one property. You might get the property owner, or they own a few. So by you going to that conference, you are now 10 steps ahead of somebody else like you in the same position. And to Liz's point, you will make contacts at these conferences that you cannot make elsewhere, over whether it's a day at Click or 2 days at another conference or 3 days at the lodging conference. And that will lead to a job and opportunity later on. So
Dave,
I try to go to as many of these conferences and industry events as I can, whether it's every month or twice a month. I go to as many as I can. I always take something away.
Yeah. Liz and Harry are absolutely correct. And, I've mentored Danny Gevirtz. He's like one of the little brothers I never had, him and Drew Hardy. Drew Hardy, when he was with Tarsadia Hotels, before they opened up 24/7 hotels, he said, no, you have to come to the lodging conference. You have to come to UCLA. So now I'm dating myself. And I hung on to Drew's belt loop the entire time at the lodging conference my first year. Second year, I cut that cord, and by the third year, I was introducing people to Drew. Okay, and Danny Gevirtz was working for a small-ish brokerage firm here in California. In year one, I met him when he graduated from Pepperdine, and he was there. And I started mentoring him, and I started registering him for conferences. And he started going. And then he did the same thing. First year at lodging, he held onto that belt loop and followed me everywhere. And 2 years down the road, boom, he's introducing me to people that I need to meet, because it's that mentoring and that constantly giving back in this industry. That's why I love it. If I hadn't switched to hospitality some 27 years ago, Glenn's heard me say this on numerous occasions, that I'd be selling T-shirts out of a kiosk at the Ala Moana Shopping Center on Oahu.
Right.
I was bored out of my mind. Very successful in various other commercial enterprises, real estate wise. But it's like, no, hospitality lights a fire. You go to these things, David. That's why I wanted you, and we'll have you at Click. That's why we're going to get you over to the lodging conference as well. You are 20 paces, 20 yards ahead of everybody else. And I've been pushing you with various other people out there to mentor you, because we're going to make you a deal guy. Okay. You will be doing hotels. You will be buying hotels. You will be financing them. You've got the knowledge. You just got to get in with the right group that's going to help you grow. And that's where you're going to meet them. Is it the lodging conference, my conference, NYU, town hall meetings, anything you can go to, go.
Well, that's where I was going to, why I bring this up, because my first and only conference was NYU. I went with Glenn. This is before COVID, so this is what, Glenn, 19, I think, end of the 2019 conference. And we went to the Hilton party at a hotel in Manhattan.
At the Marriott Marquis.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna say that, but it was the Hilton party at the Marriott Marquis.
Everybody knows where the NYU investment conference is. It's not like we're spilling state secrets over here.
But
not on this show.
At that
aliens do exist, by the way.
At that party, again, my first time at an investment conference, never been to them before. And there was a good friend of the show of No Vacancy Live who, I've gotten closer with, but at the time had no idea who he was, named Chris Green, who is the CEO of Chesapeake Hospitality.
Yep.
And great again, guy. He should be there meeting people of importance, meeting people of decision makers, making deals for his company. And Glenn introduced him to me. And at the time, I'm a entry level revenue manager for Marriott. And Chris and I sat down for an hour. And Chris let me talk and share my story and ask questions about my history and my experience. And, it didn't even hit me until I left that, wow, I just had an hour-long conversation with the CEO of a major management company simply because I was here at this conference. And listen, Chris and I haven't worked together in terms of professional capacity, not because of disinterest, because it just hasn't, I'm in New York, he doesn't have hotels here, but the idea that that's the kind of connection you can make at these conferences, it makes a lot of sense for someone like myself to be there, even if I'm not doing deals, even if I'm not doing, investments. Just being there is an experience and a growth opportunity.
See, and also, David, okay, you're coming out for Click. You're going to catch up with Chris Green at Click. So these are the times, 3 or 4 times that you get to strengthen and build those relationships. Glenn and I were doing that, the first couple of years that we met at lodging and then at various other conferences. And that was one of the critical reasons why, no matter what the economy was doing, I always had the lodging conference in my budget. Times are good, nobody questioned, but times are bad, and you're on a 10-year cycle, everything's going into the toilet, everybody's wanting to cut your budgets. Now, I hate to say this, but I will admit it. I would use NYU as my throwaway. Okay. I did. They go, okay, you've got lodging, you've got UCLA, now Alice, and NYU. You've got to get rid of one of them. Fine.
UCLA, you're still referring to that event that turned into Alice like ages and ages ago?
Yeah.
Was I alive yet when that happened? Because it sounds like it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
No, but Harry and Liz, what are some examples? And maybe you guys don't even know, because there's so much happening at the lodging conference that you guys cannot be everywhere, and there's so much happening everywhere, right? What is like one example that stands out that either a deal happened or a break was made or something special happened from the lodging conference that you guys know of?
And Dave, I love that you're asking all these questions tonight. This
No, because honestly, I'm really interested because this is where I want to be, right?
Yeah.
You know, when I was in NYU, seriously, when I went to NYU, I'm watching everybody, and I'm like, man, you know, these are the people that I want to be. Like, I want to be in this conference, and somebody wants to talk to me. You know, so talking to these conferences, being involved in these conferences is really interesting to me. So, you know, that's a story to me, right? Like if someone's at the lodging conference, all of a sudden a life-changing deal is made. That's pretty cool, you know, and that's what happens at these conferences. So
Harry just came up with a good one. Really not the answer that you were looking for, but here goes anyway.
go for it, yeah.
Jack was conceived at the lodging conference. So
I love it.
I think I was there. I don't know.
That is a great. Okay, we can wrap the show now. We're not going to top that one.
Yeah, there's, in all seriousness, there's always deals going on that you hear about afterwards. Somebody will come up to me at another event and they'll say, you know, I just did a deal and I met the guy 4 years ago at the lodging conference.
Yep.
So thank you.
True story.
That happens all the time. People say, I met somebody at the lodging conference and now they're dating. You know, there was an event going on at the lodging conference every year for many, many years, and I didn't even know about it. As a matter of fact, they kept it secret from me on purpose. They kept it secret from us on purpose. Okay.
So we want to give out a shout out. Actually, this happens to be an old cup. It's from 2013 that I
know. I see it every other day on Facebook.
But it's serious, right? But we like the story. It's a Harry will tell it better than I, but I'll give it an attempt. But I don't know, maybe 15 plus years ago, they started a secret society party that nobody could know about. Only if you were cool did you find out. And they purposely kept it from us because they thought that we would shut it down.
Right.
One year
they were great.
One year we went and we shot the shit out of Harry Wheeler because he's like, oh my God, what are the Javers doing here? But we thought it was great. Like, why not? People are having fun. It was a kegger party. They were eating.
Yeah, it was after your event officially ended, right?
Yeah.
You didn't have to pay the
that
bill.
Was fun.
We were very happy.
Yeah.
But the fact is that people were having fun, and that's really what
Until security got involved a couple of times.
We want you to enjoy yourselves. We want you to be relaxed, and the more relaxed, the more fun, the more deals, the more money you'll make. So everybody's a winner.
Well, Harry, you remember when I was working for North American, every year we were at the pool post-conference at the Biltmore, and I'd tell you how many deals I put together, or I would tell you about, you know, we had one deal with a lender that was making their biggest single loan to an individual owner. It was X amount of properties, and we had the lender, the owner, the appraiser, and me there. And if we weren't all sitting in the Arizona Biltmore, that deal wouldn't have closed on time. So, you know, the Arizona Biltmore has always been a great place to get things done. Great information. And the mentoring throughout our industry is second to none, especially when you're at the Biltmore, but the lodging conference. So.
Well, Dave, one quick, just little anecdote. So you mentioned about deals. I think the thing that was trending, at least in my little LinkedIn crowd, was Seema Jane came to the lodging conference for the first time, and she met Jeff Bellotti, who in turn invited her to speak at the Wyndham Grand Show. And she
Chip Olson, I thought.
Was it
maybe?
Chip
Well, maybe Chip and
Jeff.
Yeah.
There. Anyway, and she just said that she had success. And that picture's on there. Why?
Yeah.
Oh, so that was the Arizona Biltmore. So
really,
they know that.
They know that.
No, and look, you know what? Seriously, we love the Biltmore. We were there for more than 2 decades. When the conference first started, the idea was to move every year to a different venue. But we loved it so much, we never left. And it just came to the point where it was just too small.
Outgrew it. Yeah.
Crap,
Yeah,
yeah.
outgrew it.
Yeah.
But,
So-
we love it. Fond memories
So
of
at what point do you bring the lodging conference light, meaning, a half-year conference for a few select people to the even Midtown East?
it. Is that where you are?
Nice one, David. I love it.
We have a prime location in Midtown East Manhattan. We're 5 avenues from Times Square. We're 2 blocks from Grand Central.
And there's a good sushi place across the street.
There's an excellent Japanese restaurant across.
And we're
What's
doing
the
Friday
exact
night
street?
audit from the rooftop. So
We are.
What's the exact street?
What's that?
The exact street is where?
44th Street between 2nd and 3rd.
Okay.
They live in Manhattan, Dave.
Oh,
Yeah. No, because I used to run the Learning Annex with others for many, many years, and I think we actually held a lot of our Learning Annex events there way back when.
at the Even?
Well, what was it before? Was it another hotel before?
No, it was a new build.
Yeah. Okay. So no.
No, okay, then I'm mixing it up with something. Okay.
Same area.
Because listen, guys, there's only so many hotels in New York City. There's only a few.
There's only
There's
nine
not
of
too
them.
many around, so
Yeah.
it's only one of a couple that could have been. No, but seriously, guys, if you guys when you guys get back to New York City, please come up. I would love to say hello to you guys in person. We have a great steakhouse in our building. Across the street is a great Japanese restaurant. Authentic Japanese. I tell this story all the time. And I may have told it on the show.
Not
before,
inviting us, Glenn.
No.
you guys have no value to me. But
Hey, at least he's honest, Glenn.
Right. He said it's like to bigger pastures.
no, but I tell the story about the restaurant Tsushima, and I'll give them.
How much should we pay him?
I'll give you a shout out. Tsushima, but my wife and I went there, who you just saw in the show, and we're sitting there, and we realized we're the only non-Asian diners there, and that's not to be unfavorable. It's just that's the
That's
fact.
a great sign.
Yeah, it's a great sign. And then we realized we're the only non-Japanese speaking people there. And let me tell you guys,
that's the way to go.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
and at that point we're like, this is going to be really good food, and it really lived up to that standard.
Yeah.
So yes, when you guys come back to Manhattan, come see me. I'd love to see you guys in person, and we'll do lodging
And
conference
Lucy,
light.
because she's in New York, and hey, you should have stopped in, I guess, on the way from picking up the dog from Connecticut back to California, Craig. But the next time you're in New York, we'll all come together.
Oh no, he completely ignored.
Absolutely.
He
No, I am
ignored
going
us.
over there.
He flew right over us, flew right back over
Right
us,
over our
Right
heads.
and waved
Yeah.
the entire time.
Actually, the way back we had airplane problems. Instead of going to DC, I ended up in Atlanta, and I never want to be at that airport again. It takes a half hour to taxi from the American Airlines terminal down to the end of the runway for them to take off. American Airlines was great. Hate that airport. That goes right up there with LAX and Honolulu. It's like, no.
I don't have a problem.
Where's O'Hare? Where's O'Hare?
Chicago?
Oh,
I mean, thank you.
I don't even go there. No.
I was stuck there for 12 hours once.
Yeah.
First and only time I was there was 12 hours.
I was stuck there for 4 days once trying to get to Harry's conference back in 2001. But we don't need to talk about that.
No.
No.
No,
we
we
do need to
don't.
talk
No.
about, though, the most important thing. The reason why we all came on to air tonight is because of this. That's right. So Plug-a-Palooza, the time that you get to promote whatever you want. Harry, Liz, what is this thing? The lodging conference that we've been talking about. I don't know.
No one knows what it is.
I thought this was going to be about funny stories that you wanted to hear. I felt like
I don't know what happened. The hour went away.
We got
All right,
educational. What
all
can we
right.
say?
We're going to rewind. We didn't even play the graphic. Give us the funniest story from the lodging conference in your history.
Should I do the people in the lobby?
You should go ahead.
Okay.
Whatever. It's not the funniest. It's a story. Because the funniest stories would probably be funny probably just to a select few. And they would be X-rated. So there's a lot of stories that we really can't say.
Change the
on
names to protect the guilty and the innocent. We'll run long. Go
Oh,
ahead.
look at that cutie.
Oh, he's so cute. Why can't puppies just stay like puppies forever? Kind of like kids. So
Well, it's
cute.
just like I get gray
Speaking of
hair. Why
kids-
do I have gray hair? I grow old. So
I tell your story.
All right, so it was a late night at the lodging conference. I don't know, like 10 o'clock, 10:30. We're all sitting out at the outdoor
Hi.
bar, and there was about 10 of us at the table. And a woman, I forget who it was, comes back to the table and says, "Oh my God, I think somebody's inside in the bathroom getting sick. Maybe we should call maybe we should call the hotel to let them know. Maybe I think this woman's really sick." So another woman's at the table and she says, "Well, I'm a nurse. Let me go in there." It was the ladies' room, yes. So the other woman goes into the ladies' room and she's gone for about 5 minutes and she comes back and there's 10 of us sitting there and she's got a big smile on her face and she's laughing. And she says, "No, that woman that you heard in the bathroom, she wasn't getting sick. She was in there with her boyfriend."
Oh,
I'm gonna share a similar story.
Her boyfriend's performance was so bad that everyone thought she was getting sick.
I'm gonna share a
No,
very
no, the
similar
couple
story.
came out and they were both smiling.
Can I share a
That's
similar story? So at one of my previous hotels, I was the manager on duty, and I get a guest comes to me and says, "Hey, I want to let you know that the guest in room so and so I'm concerned about them because there's a female in there she's saying, no, stop it, don't hurt me." And I'm saying, okay. So I have to go upstairs and check it out. And at the time, this hotel was in a rough area. So we had armed security, off-duty police that were armed with, guns. And one of them was there sitting down. And I said, "Hey, so-and-so's name, can you come with me?" And he says, "Oh, I'm not working right now, but what's up?" And I tell him, but I'm saying, "You're not working. Don't worry about it." But he's a cop. So at this point, now he hears this. He has to go.
Right.
So he comes upstairs with me and we knock on the door. The guy opens the door and I said, "Go ahead. Goodbye." And he goes, he has my phone. He doesn't care about me anymore. So we knock on the door.
Dave, you never did. It was all about the phone.
It's all about the phone. The gentleman opens the door and he says, "How can I help you?" And I tell him, "Hey, listen, we got a complaint of a potential disturbance in the room. Here's what was said." And he just starts laughing. And he goes, "No, it's not like that. We were having some fun." And I go, "Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Have a great night." But my police friend, knowing better than I do, says, "Sir, can we speak to the female?"
Right.
Making sure that she's actually okay.
She's tied up.
but requested that.
So, can we speak to the female? So he goes, "Hey, babe, just say hello out here." And sure enough, she pokes her head around the corner of the room. You can see she's shirtless without seeing anything. And says, "I'm okay, guys. Thank you so much." And then we come back downstairs and the guy was like, "So what happened?" And I'm like, "Screw it. They're having sex. It was fine."
Yeah.
It was all good. But he was so embarrassed. And I was like, "Listen, it was better you told me and it was that than you didn't tell me and it was the other thing."
Right.
So it ended up working out. But yeah, there's always those types of stories in hotels and various environments.
We'll have to have Tim Cromwell on. He's got a story from the Arizona Biltmore. And he's been telling for decades.
All right, Harry, Liz, tell us, how can we register for the Lodging Conference? How can we learn more about it? How could we be a part of the seminal event that kicks off conference season every fall?
Just simply go to lodgingconference.com. All the information's there, including how to reach either of us. So we're very easy to get to, and happy to help anybody and everybody, no matter what level they are in the industry, whether they're a student, hotel owner, CEO. We'd love to have you at the conference.
Excellent. And there it is. Right there. Everybody who's anybody is definitely at the show. You've got to attend. Hopefully, I'll be back in next year, if I'm invited. We'll see what happens. Dave, what do you got to plug?
I'm going to put the lodging conference because I want to go. So I'm going to save my time. I'm going to be completely shameless. I want to be there. I want to be involved. My son wants to eat something, so he's over here bugging me.
I know what he doesn't want to eat. One of those disgusting hot dogs with cheese on it.
No, he can't because they're gone. The plate's empty. It was nice. Here comes Annie to take him away. Say hi.
Hi, Annie.
But yeah, I'm gonna shamelessly plug the lodging conference because honestly, it's one of the conferences that as I've been very fortunate enough to be involved in this upper level world with Glenn and Anthony and Craig that everyone talks about, everyone goes to. So I need to be there. So Harry, Liz, hook me up.
We'll see if you can get the dates free. Maybe
it's September 19th through September 22nd, 2022.
Yeah.
Oh, so you know what? The best part about that in New York City, not only is my anniversary, it's also UNGA, United Nations General Assembly. So there's one time of the year that New York City.
You don't want to
the good news is it's never of a Rosh Hashanah of Yom Kippur. No, Mike.
No
Ketchup.
No ketchup. Stop. No, please.
If there's one time I can't get there, it's over UNGA. So I will see you guys in spirit. Thank you.
All right. Awesome. Craig, I feel like there's an event, but it's just not clicking for me.
California Lodging Investment Conference.
Right. That's it.
March 10th, 2022.
I can
live
make those
and in
dates.
person at the Crown Jewel of the Anaheim Resort, the JW Marriott.
But
we
wait,
start
there's more.
Connect next month. So very happy.
Now, how much would you pay?
Craig, what is what's the current view totals of mine versus Glenn?
You're beating him by about 1,000.
For what? Oh, your show. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm yesterday's news. Dave's the future. What are you gonna do? Anyway, thank you all.
You heard it from Glenn's lips to God's ears. Frozen Day Dave is the future.
All right.
If I don't freeze in this 18-degree nonsense out here in New Jersey.
Oh,
Glenn, what do you want? What do you want to plug?
See what
We'll see you in a few days at
Sunday,
Alice. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure will. I'm hoping the weather is going to be great when we get to LA next week. Can't wait. Hey, Nikki Fox. So good to see you. Great timing. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you next time.
Hey, wait a minute.
Whoa. Yeah, Glenn, what are you plugging?
What do we do? What are you plugging? And we've got something happening on Wednesday of next week.
Oh, my goodness. It's right. We got a special Friday night audit next Wednesday, 5 p.m. from the rooftop of the Wayfarer Hotel.
Wait, that's 5 p.m. Western, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Because if I was going to be there at 5 p.m. Eastern, I was by myself.
Oh,
Nobody told me anything.
Early. That's right. So we got that special show. I can't wait. Craig and I are going to be together, I hope, in Las Vegas for a special show on February 25th. Got a lot of exciting things going on. Catch me on the road. I'm going to be at Alice next week, broadcasting live from the Wayfarer Hotel. The week after that, I'll be in Minneapolis. The week after that, I'm in New York City. The week after that, I'm in Seattle. And the week after that, I'll be in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, doing a super session for Radisson Hotels America, all in preparation for Click on March 10th, which I can't wait to close out that show.
There you go. And then we've got our Route 66 tour, and we're going to be hitting some hotels.
Right. But from now until September, I'm going to be dreaming about that great road food festival where I can get ribs, White Castle burgers, and so many more delectable treats.
Oh, love it. Yes.
All of my favorite conference luncheon at the year. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. We absolutely love you, and we'll see you right here next week. Same bad time, same bad time.
Bye, Sharif.
Wednesday. Not Friday, Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, next Wednesday.
Yes.
Not Friday. Next Wednesday. I am
Traveling Glenn. So listen, guys, if you guys go out there and hashtag Traveling Glenn at Traveling Glenn, you will see Glenn at all these various places because Glenn's going to take live Instagram. He's going to take photos. Right. I'm going to make him do these amazing 20 things.
Please. I'll be doing that. What the hell are you talking about?
I suck at social media. Thank you very much. See you all Wednesday night.
Aloha.